There's a very unusual looking type of set of graphs that we have, and they actually occupy a single cell. So instead of being a big rectangle taking up, maybe half your screen, these take up a single cell. It's unbelievable. And they are called sparklines. So I want to show you how this works. Over on the side here, I'm going to go ahead and let me just fix this up a little bit here. All right, so on the side here, what I want to do is create a line graph that will measure or graph all of these numbers for Canada from 2015 to 2020, and we'll have that basically occupy each of the rows. So we'll have one for the Congo, one for Finland, and so forth. All right. So the way we do this is you go to the cell that you want to put the graph into, and we're going to do first a line graph. So we're going to go back into the Insert tab, and you'll see in the Sparklines area something called Lines. So we click onto that. Little window pops up here. The location of the sparkline has already been established because that's where we were initially. So all it wants to know is where is the data that it's going to be graphing. So your pointer is already in there. So we're just going to point to the first item here, and we just drag it across, just like that. So we're not looking to include any labels or anything like that. This is just going to be a very simple little graph here. Now once we've done that, we go ahead and hit OK, and there we go. Not bad. And then once we've put that in there, we can take it and we can actually copy it all the way down. So now, again, we'll have Congo, Finland, France, and so forth all in there. Now there's not a whole heck of a lot of formatting that you can do these things, but you can, first of all, go into the Design tab while you're in here and maybe pick a certain style. So you got all these styles in there. So let's just say we'll pick this one right here. All right. So there it is. Another thing we can do is we can show where the high and low points are. In other words, out of all these numbers, which point would be the high point and which would be the low point. So we can actually go and click on the high point, low point, and we'll end up seeing those two things. Now, if you want the high point, let's say to be black, and you want the low point to be in the red, you can then go over to the marker color here, go to high point, and say, okay, on the high point, I want that to be black, and go to the marker again, and on the low point, I want that to be red. And there we go. We can also go to the sparkline color, and we can pick a different color than black that we have there. So maybe I'll go with the dark green. And there we go on that. I can also go over to where it says markers, click onto that, and that'll put a marker at each data point. So this would be like 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and so forth. So kind of interesting. Now, if we start going further and say, okay, let's show the first point and the last point, it's like, after a while, you got so many little markers there, it's just a little too much to look at. So I don't think we really need that. All right. And that's it. Now, you can, if you wanted to, take this and switch it to a different one if you wanted to. So I can say, well, I didn't really want a line graph. I think I'd rather have a column. I can actually just click back on the column, and there we go, using the same coloring scheme. If I say, well, that was a bad idea, I think I want to have that along with the other one, the line. So I'll just go back to line, and then I'll go ahead and I'll create another graph. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of put a little breaker between here. All right, so over here, same thing, but we're going to do a bar graph this time. So go back into Insert, go back to Column this time, And the data range will be, once again, that same range from 2015 to 2020. We hit OK, and there you go. And at this point, again, we can go into the styles. We can find something that we like. There you go. Or you can say, I don't like that. I'm going to go black. All right. And then at that point, we can go along with the same things we did before. We can show the high point and the low point. And we can say that for our marker colors, the high point, we want that to be, well, because we already have black, so let's just say the high point, we'll make that, we could probably make that green. Make it a dark green, right? And then the low point, we'll make that one definitely red. There we go there, and you can see the red right there. And then you can do this now or later, doesn't matter. We can go ahead and copy that down, and there we go. And then while we're here, now we don't have anything for markers. We can't do that, but I mean, I suppose we go to the sparkline, the overall coloring. Right now it's black. We can say, well, how about if we go with blue? So there's your blue. You still have your green, still have your red and all that. So not bad. And that's how that works. Okay, so now we'll go to the next tab here, and we're gonna pretty much do the same thing with those two, but now this time we're gonna do it for the columns. All right, before we did it over here, now we're gonna do it for the columns. All right, so what I'll do is I'll click, and what I'll do is I'll put this back and go here, get a little height in there, and I'll click onto here. Go back into insert, and this time I think for the first one we'll do a line. So I'll do line, and then the range, instead of it going across, this time it's going to go down, and we're not going to include the total this time. So we'll just do those for 6 months. Hit OK. There we go. Again, we can go in there and find a color, high point. And we'll also do the low point. There we go. And we can go ahead and just kind of copy that across. There we go. So we can see the overall total and how that goes, for each of the months overall. So you can get these, and you got that as well. And again, you could go to the marker color, make the high green, and we'll make the low point, we can make that one red as usual. And there we go. Pretty neat. Again, we can also do the bar. So I'll just get a little bit more room beneath there. Put it there. Go back into insert. Go back to column. Select the range. Hit OK. And copy it across. And there we go. So pretty slick. It'll update when you put different numbers in. You got to change something, it'll automatically update. But overall, it's a great kind of like a low profile kind of graph, I guess. It's something that you can actually add to most of your worksheets without having to go in to make a big production out of a much larger graph. Again, taking up half of your page. So pretty cool. All right, so now I've got one more for you, and in this case I'm going to show you the third type of sparkline. And if you take a look here, we've got something called the win-loss. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it, and then I'll explain to you what it is. Okay, so I'm going to do it on this data here. Now you'll notice that we've got numbers that are positive, and we also have losses as well in here. Okay, and we have that throughout the worksheet. So I'm going to go to here, go back into insert, go to the win-loss, and the data range is going to be the same. And then I'll go ahead and hit OK, and there we go. I'm going to copy that down all the way to the bottom here. All right, so what is it? What does it do? Well, using the same size bars, pretty much squares, it shows in an elevated fashion the numbers that are positive. So 2015, 2017, positive years, but the rest of them were all losses, and that's what you see here. So at a glance, somebody can look at this and get an idea of where maybe the most losses were, or how many were, how many more, or how many of them were there, you know, over the years. And they can actually see where there weren't losses. So you can actually look at this and say, okay, the Congo, Finland, Sweden, no losses there. All right, all gains. So, but the rest of them definitely had a few losses in there. So that's about it. I mean, you can go back in there and you can kind of change the colors up if you wanted to, but for the most part, that's what we have. And it's again, it's a great little indicator. You know, it doesn't take up a lot of room, and hopefully you can use this one in your ventures along with the rest of them. So appreciate you watching the video. Take care.